Should we watch Rotten Mango or K-pop in 2025? Or should I go lay down on the couch? Mods, add that in there too. Come on, talk to me. Mods? We're gonna do one more, because it was close. It was close. Whatever I want to do, I appreciate that. Okay, why is K-pop 2025 Rotten Mango bar moving and the laying on the couch only got 19 votes? Oh, Rotten Mango. Hey, Rotten Mango made a comeback. I'm not gonna lie. Rotten Mango made a comeback. It's at 43%. Can I vote too? Look at the poll. Look how close the poll is. Look how close the poll is. Y'all get laying on the couch like a little bit more love. Get that shit a little bit more love, bro. Damn. Rotten Mango's at 53%. Oh, can I vote? Let me vote. I'm gonna vote for the underdog. And that ain't do a goddamn thing. Damn. Okay. All right. Hold on. It's literally split. K-pop 2025 need 3 more votes. Oh my God. It barely won. Damn. Rotten Mango it is. Yo.
너 뭐 하자는 거니? 저기 어머님.
Oh, shit. Yup.
그게 뭔데?
Fentanyl. Having war flashbacks. Having war flashbacks is crazy.
야, 내가 알바비 줄게. 감사합니다.
Alright, bet. Come on in. You said they're just playing around, Sarah. They going fucking crazy. What the fuck? Look at mother looking like her uncle. Oh shit. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I low-key prefer this version over like the actual like real dance practice. Bro, they are not like just joking around, playing around. Like they are like dead ass serious.
We all gonna die, but not today. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know what I'm saying.
Nigga, what the fuck? Bro, what?
Arigato.
Bro, what the hell? You can't just leave off with that right there.
Run, beautiful, run, yeah, you gotta run.
I remember that shit. I feel like when they, you know, when like your toddler get tired and it's time for him to go home. Bro, what the fuck? Bro, is that a Q-tip? Bro, is that a Q? That's a goddamn Q-tip.
Talking about a lot of different victims today, and a lot of them wanted to remain anonymous. In some sources, you can actually find either their last name, their surname, or you can find their full name. But just to make it a little bit better, we're going to call them student number 1. It's just going to be easier to follow because there's a lot of stories to get through today.
For sure.
Student number 1 made maybe only one mistake, and that mistake was picking up a phone call. I mean, it's not even really a mistake by most people's books.
Right.
People pick up their phone calls all the time. That's the purpose of a phone. But to these 5 insecure, power-tripping bullies, it was the biggest mistake that she could have made in her entire life. June 2017, student 1 gets a phone
This is 2017? What?
call from a girl in her class's boyfriend. So some random dude in her class calls her, and I'm not even sure why he called student 1. Either it was random, maybe he had to ask her a question, maybe he wanted to talk to her, or maybe the girlfriend told him to call. I really don't know if it was a setup, but he calls student 1, she picks up, and that's it. There's no cheating, there's no affair, there's no flirting, nothing.
Okay.
Student 1 simply picked up an incoming call.
Okay.
And that is why 5 girls in her grade decided to beat her an inch of her life the very first time. They forced student 1 out of her house, hit her with flip-flops, demanding to know why she would even dare pick up this guy's phone call. Like, what's wrong with you? Are you a slut? They forced her to come to this karaoke bar. They call it norebangs in Korea, and it's a little bit different from the Western karaoke bars. You can actually rent private rooms. You have this big screen in your private room and these microphones. It's so loud. So they turn up the music in that norebang. They start hitting her with the microphone over and over on the head. They're punching her. They beat her until she was covered with her own blood.
Oh my God.
Thankfully, student one was alive.
Damn. She would be watching this right now, bro. What the fuck?
She did the right thing. The thing that everybody tells you to do if you've been a victim of a violent crime or
Police.
you've been bullied.
Police.
She went straight to the police.
For sure.
The police did not hold up their end of the social contract. They didn't do their jobs. The police did nothing. The bullies found out that she had gone to the police and they decided they were going to teach her a lesson. They felt like they had to put her through something torturous this time. So she wouldn't even think to ever report them ever again. They said to her, "Do you think that we wouldn't notice that you went to the cops? Do you think we're dumb?
This is taking place in South Korea, correct? This is taking place in South Korea, right? Okay. And I'm just asking. You can't have no pew-pews in South Korea, or can you? Like the average civilian. You can't? Okay. All right. Just asking. Just asking.
Be dead the next time we catch you."
Damn.
They wanted to keep their word.
Cause I'm laying shit down, and I'm just being honest with you. Like
2 months later, September 1st of 2017, student one was invited by.
Hold on, what? Say that one more time.
Keep their word. 2 months later, September 1st of 2017, student one was invited by one of her close friends to go grab burgers and then go to the movies.
Okay.
Like, she really needed this. Like, she needed this night out with a friend
Right.
to de-stress, to eat some burgers and not worry about these 5 bullies that were harassing her every single day in school. So she gets ready and she shows up at this restaurant early. She sits down, she's got her burger ordered, and she's just sitting there waiting, anxiously waiting for her friend to get there. I mean, maybe she's staring at the restaurant door, just
her
thinking
friend
about the
set her
movie
up.
They're gonna watch. Maybe they're gonna go grab food afterwards. Maybe they're gonna
Her
eat
friend set her
ramen
up.
at a convenience store. When suddenly the door to the restaurant swings open, and her bullies rush in.
Yo, her friend set her up. This is what bro. You can't.
5 girls. They walk straight up to her and they say, "Get up, follow us." You don't want to make a scene, do you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Right here, right now, bruh. No way did she follow them?
I think the most devastating part about this is the bullies had gotten student one's friend and forced her to set her up.
Hell no, no. You can't force me to set my best friend up, though. You can't force me to set my best friend up.
You know how her friend was like, "Come meet me for burgers"? The bullies were like, "Text your friend."
Who, bro, his voice has me thinking there's somebody in this room with me right now. I need him to just maybe turn his mic down just a little bit. We love you, but just at least put him in a box on the corner or some shit.
Right now. Text student one right now. Her friend was never coming to get burgers. She was never going to go to the movies with her. She knew what the bullies had in store for her. There is CCTV footage of student one walking out of the restaurant.
Oh my
with the
God, this
5
is
bullies.
it.
So what happens is, at first, she walks out and
These are the bullies.
she's willingly leaving the restaurant. And I'm saying willingly in the sense that it wasn't forced.
No.
Like, they're not dragging her out of the restaurant. Probably she was scared to say no and scared of making a scene. But it seems like when they instruct her to go into the alleyway next to the restaurant, she steps away and tries to leave. So one of the bullies grabs her by the hair and drags her into the alleyway. And almost immediately after, I'm sure while they're still in view of the main road, because the alleyway, it's not like it's just, there's a turn immediately. Like, you've seen an alleyway from the main road. You can see straight down it. Right afterwards, a police car is driving past the alleyway.
Yes.
Wow.
Stop it! Bro, tell him to mute his mic.
The police fail her a second time. They keep driving. Whether they saw her or not is unclear, but the result was
Oh my
nothing
God.
and nobody was stopped.
What?
Instead, the bullies, the 5 bullies, they drag her to a quiet place and they start punching her. The crazy thing is, it's secluded, but it's not.
She's 14.
isolated. Like, this is a busy part of South Korea. So a few passerbys, they see student 1 being punched and nobody tries to stop them.
Oh
nobody
my
tries to call the
God.
police. But it freaked out the bullies enough that they dragged her to a nearby factory instead that was closed. And they started assaulting her with anything that they could get their hands on. Out of the 5 bullies, it was mainly 2 girls doing most of the physical abuse. But there were still 3 girls just standing there, yelling, threatening the victim, watching as their friends assaulted her with iron pipes, glass soju bottles.
Oh my God. Please tell me that this victim sent them 5 girls to the glory. Please tell me she sent them to the glory. Please. Well, don't even say nothing. I'm not even gonna look. I don't want nothing spoiled. Never mind.
Bricks, chairs. They used a knife to cut her skin, and they burned.
Tell me right now. Did they send her to the glory? Unfortunately, the glory is what we wish could, bro.
her with cigarettes, and they found this vitamin 500 glass bottle. It's like these vitamin supplements in South Korea, and they're in these tiny glass bottles, and the glass is thick. It's probably thicker than a beer glass. And they start hitting student 1 with it, and they're screaming and laughing. How come this bottle won't break?
Yo,
let's just hit her till the bottle breaks.
I truly think those are literal demons walking on earth. Like, people say, like, yeah, before you get a certain age, bruh, like, your brain not developed, so you do dumb shit. Yes, but people that do shit like this are literal baby demons. They're baby demons running around.
They were laughing as they said this. They also laughed as they said, I like the smell of her blood. Let's keep going.
That's a demon. That's a demon.
Shall we? The victim was suffering from serious injuries to her jaw.
Oh
The back
my
of her
God,
head.
bro.
She was bleeding everywhere.
For unblurred video, go to Rod Mango video on Spotify.
And they complained, God, why is she bleeding so much? Her blood is dirty. At one point, student 1 passes out, loses consciousness, and the bullies say, let's beat her up more since we're already guilty of attempted murder. Might as well. They tortured her for nearly 2 hours, and
2 fucking hours, dude. Bro, we really shouldn't have started our fucking morning off with this bullshit, because now I'm... Oh my God. Oh my God.
They did all of this thinking that they were going to get away with it, thinking that they taught her a lesson. They had no idea that they were recorded by the CCTV near the factory. The whole 2 hours of the assault was recorded.
Bro,
Which
thank
I don't
God.
even know if they care. I don't even know if they care because they were caught on camera, and I'm going to show you this footage, forcing student 1 onto her knees, like the begging pose, like pleading for her life, and taking pictures of her with the flash on. I don't know, as some sort
And that's the actual video.
of sick evidence of their torture, like a trophy. Yeah, I mean, I guess they wanted to show it to others of like this. Look what we did to her. Look what will happen if you go to the police and tell on us. They would later share this picture.
The kneeling photo, or oh my
They
god.
shared
So
it.
the CCTV is in black and white, but every inch of the student 1's body was covered in blood. Like, I'm talking, her hair is caked in blood. Every part of her arm and legs are covered in her own blood.
Oh my
They took
God.
this picture with the flash on, and one of the bullies would actually send this to a senior upperclassman. And in South Korea, the social hierarchy of age is very intense. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this by now, but if you're a junior in high school, the sophomores in high school are usually bowing 90 degrees to you when they see you in the hallways.
Right.
Like, it's not even an upperclassman, underclassman type
Right.
of ordeal. Like, it's very serious. There's even a term you call someone like 언니, 오빠, 형, 누나, right?
Hyung.
And the bully sends it to an 언니. So this is
Who's
someone
older than her?
older than
Older.
her, and someone that she actually is somewhat scared of. Maybe the bully's bully. I
Which, if you older, you should do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're older. Oh my God, bruh.
no idea. But she sends this picture.
What did you do? I hit a kid. They said attempted murder. Sigh. Put this motherfucker in jail too. Put this motherfucker in jail. Put this.
And the 언니 texted back, what did you do? I hit a kid. They'll say it's attempted murder. Do you think I went overboard? You did that?
Jail.
Did you do it alone?
Jail.
You're a real psycho, LOL. Did you and your friend do it together? Answer me. She doesn't respond. So the 언니 texts back. Answer me, you bit. Are you really sending this to me right now, asking if it's okay? Wow, I'm getting really tired of you now. You need to control yourself better.
Bro, they're talking so casual. Like, nigga, like, they didn't just almost kill somebody, unalive somebody. They're talking as if this is just like some project for school or some shit.
That
And
conversation is the most chilling, weird,
Yes.
normal, natural conversation I've ever heard. Like,
That's
what
what I'm
is going
saying.
on?
That's why a lot of people had a problem with this conversation once it started getting public, because that's not how you react to a picture like this. You don't just say, "Ugh, I'm getting sick of you. You've been acting up these days."
Yeah.
To a picture like this. But thankfully, the 언니 does do something about it. She kind of sleeps on it, but she ends up bringing this picture to the police. And the five teenagers would be taken in by authorities.
Yes!
And only 2 would be charged as the main perpetrator.
Two charges the main part, but all of them other ones got time. Still, like they got in trouble.
The only reason that they were caught is because this 언니 sent the picture into the police.
That only, bro. That only need to be in jail too, though. So she snitched on herself. But I'm glad she did. But they should put her in jail too, though.
When the bullies found out that the 언니 had reported them, they just scurried to turn themselves into the police, not because they felt remorse, not because they wanted to serve their time for their heinous crime, but they heard that judges are easier on them if they turn themselves in first.
Bro, what?
When they were questioned on why they did this, they said the victim was being rude to an 언니, which means, an upperclassman, which is a straight up lie. They did this because her boyfriend called student 1, and student 1, being a normal human being,
Picked up the phone.
picked up a phone call.
That's bro. Bro. I hate the whole like. If you talking to my man, if you talking to my woman, I'ma beat your ass, or I'ma do this to you. If you talk. So, your woman, your man get a pass. Put it like this: you gonna beat me up. Say you beat me up, which you not, cause we got guns on. You know what I'm saying? We got something that'll. But say you do get the best of me. Then your man, your girl, turn around, do the same thing. You gonna be beating the whole world up because your partner is unfaithful. I don't get people like that. I don't get it.
Yeah. There's a picture of the floor of the factory where there's just blood staining the entire place where she was kneeled. And then these are her injuries, and that is her shoe.
Yo.
Covered in
Oh
blood.
my goodness. That is her?
Yeah. These
Right,
bullies would
right,
actually
right.
only pay for their crimes by spending a few years in prison. The main bullies received 2 years in juvenile detention centers. Another
Say that one more time. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Goodness. That is her?
Yeah. These bullies would actually only pay for their crimes by spending a few years in prison. The main bullies received 2 years in juvenile detention centers. Another bully received just a few months. And all of South Korea was pretty outraged. I think the feeling of injustice
what?
practically ran through the whole nation. The judge tried to argue minors are physically and mentally impulsive.
It's a difference between a minor and the devil.
And
What
they
are we
don't have
talking?
the same ability to perceive as adults do. The court's not going to try these teens under the same standard as adults. The girls, the bullies, they show guilt and reflection. We must acknowledge that there's room for change with educational rehabilitation.
So basically, if I stab you, take a picture of you, laugh at you, say, damn, why you bleeding? The police catch wind of it. I go to court. I say, I'm sorry. Shit, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a kid. I was just doing shit. I'm sorry. Let him off. Okay,
Fine. Maybe with rehabilitation, there will be no such thing as bullying anymore. But that clearly wasn't the case. In fact, more extreme cases of bullying started to pop up all across South Korea after this viral case.
That's what you open the door to a slippery slope. It's like, okay, if they only got this from it, I can do this to this person. If the punishment is only this severe, I'll take that slap on the wrist. I'm gonna go fuck with somebody that you open the door for like a lot of other shit to come. Like,
some even inspired the popular Netflix drama, The Glory. These are the real life stories that inspired that drama.
I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, bro. Let's see. Mind you, that's the intro. The more of them that don't get any consequences is what will cause the other kids to do these things. It's exactly what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Wait, that was only the intro. That was on the intro because that's how she structures her videos.
And having darker thoughts, please seek out help. I'm going to leave a few links and hotlines in the description. But with that being said, there's also going to be a content warning for intense bullying, school violence, and taking of one's life. And just content warning for intense bullying, school violence, and taking of one's life. And just know that if you're feeling bullied or feeling alone, you're not alone. There are people out there that can help you. That
real shit though, dead ass, like no cap. Like I know a lot of us say like we have like a family shit going on like in this community, but if you get bullied, it's people out there just like us that would help you. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? You definitely dead ass not in this alone. For real. No cap. I wish I could do everything. I wish I could be Spider-Man, swoop down and kick everybody ass that's fucking with you. I truly do. But I can't, so don't ever think nobody does not care about your situation. There will always be somebody that can help you and that does care what you're going through. For real. Real shit.
You can talk to. And I know it feels hard, so please just check the resources. And another thing, this isn't necessarily in the show notes, but The Glory on Netflix is a 16-episode Korean drama that's been widely talked about.
Yeah.
I actually made like 3 videos on it, okay? We've covered the whole series on our other podcast channel, Miss Mango Butter, Baking a Mystery, Baking a Murder, where we cover like fictional thriller shows, movies.
So The Glory is just different episodes that don't really correlate with each other? Or... Nigel, if you need to stop at any point, just do it. I appreciate that. No, it's not. They correlate. Oh, okay. It's a story. Got you.
And books. I can leave a link to those, but honestly, The Glory itself, the K-drama on Netflix, has been really good, and it's been touted as a prime example of the saying, art imitates life. So The Glory follows the story of a woman named Moon Dong-eun, who's on this path of just pure revenge. Like she's been plotting this revenge for nearly 20 years of her life. The story goes, she was bullied in high school by a group of rich kids. And this...
Damn, hold on. Is this going to give it away? I wanted to watch it. Is this going to give it away? Damn, that's a bad pause. Is this going to give it away? I wanted to watch it. I don't know what shit. Forget it, bro. Forget it. We just gonna watch it. It's cool.
Years of her life. Just pure revenge. Like she's been plotting this revenge for nearly 20 years of her life. The story goes, she was bullied in high school by a group of rich kids. And this is no like normal bullying, not that there is any, but she was permanently disfigured. The bullies had held her down while they burned her arms and legs with a curling iron. They beat her, they sexually assaulted her, and they all got away with it. Back in high school, Dong-eun had tried to tell the school officials. She tried to tell the...
Nah, we can watch it, bro. We can watch it. Because I want to, now that we already 12 minutes in, bro. It's cool. We gonna watch it.
Back in high school, Dong-eun had tried to tell the school officials. She tried to tell the police about the bullying. They all refused to take action because the rich kids had powerful parents, that these administrators, that these police officers wanted to be on their good side. High school Dong-eun She couldn't handle the mental and physical torture. So multiple times she contemplates and almost goes through with taking her own life. And in the end, I guess something in her just snaps.
Right.
She decides, I'm not gonna end my life. I'm gonna get revenge. And she feels like her life is over already. Why die? And then what? These bullies are gonna go on living their best lives, bullying more people?
Right.
So she sets off on this 20-year-old journey to commit the perfect revenge to make sure that the bullies get what's coming to them.
Damn, this show sound hard. Duh. This show sound hard.
So the drama follows Tongun and the bullies that are now in their late 30s. And I think what makes this show different from all the other Korean dramas in the past that have just shown aspects of high school bullying is, which side note, Korean dramas do have a lot of depictions of school bullying. I remember being shocked watching Boys Over Flowers, and there's so many clips where the main character gets bullied by having rich students throw eggs at her. She walks into the school. They're throwing eggs at her and pouring bags of flour onto her. I remember showing my mom and being like, that's crazy. And she's like, yeah, Korean bullying is that crazy.
Korean bullying is insane. Bullying is bullying, but that shit seemed like different.
It was the weirdest thing. But the glory is even more intense than that. But I think what makes it stand out is it's a pretty close and honest depiction of bullying in South Korea. Like, maybe not the revenge, but the bullying aspect.
Right.
Like, just how deep the layers of school bullying are. The police corruption, the school administrators' negligence, their motives to make this school seem like the perfect school, intimidation of victims, parents using their money to get away with things, letting their kids get away with things. Like, it makes sense, especially in a country like South Korea, that this K-drama became one of the most anticipated releases in a while. Which, side note, this is so pertinent to the story later. But all the actors and actresses were screened for past school bullying records.
What?
Because the directors and producers wanted to make sure nobody in the drama was later exposed for being a bully in real life.
Hold on. Run that back.
School bullying records. Because actors and actresses were screened for past school bullying records because the directors
because if they bullied in the past, they didn't want them to bully on the show and have it come to light, and they're actually bullying on the show too.
Producers wanted to make sure nobody in the drama was later exposed for being a bully in real life.
Okay. I like that. I think. Hold on, fuck. Let me make sure I understand. Hold on. Basically, the director was just like, bro, if you was a real bully back then, you can't play a bully in my show because then you gonna come out as a bully back then and in my show, so it's gonna be all bad, right? Right. If that's the case, it's like, yes. Yeah, got you. They missed one. One was a bully though. Damn.
Life.
Can you imagine that?
Exactly. Imagine one of the
Wow.
bullies on the drama is like a real life bully.
Actual bully.
So keep this in
How
mind
do they
for
screen
later.
that, I wonder? Like, hey, let me just talk to all your classmates.
That is facts. How do you even figure that out?
Yeah, I wonder if they go back to your school records, but none of these stay on the school record.
Right.
Exactly.
Do they get a PI?
Yeah, it's...
Or do they do the most basic search?
There's no way you can tell if someone was a bully, bro. Like, you can't tell.
And even today, like, people are getting...
Unless, yeah, you have records of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you bullied them to an extent of, like, it was a police record or a school record. Then it's like, yeah, but bro, you can't figure that out.
exposed day by day, right?
Okay, so the bullying thing in Korea has become such a shit show. A lot of K-pop idols and actors and actresses, just anyone in mainstream Korean news is
Social
constantly
media.
being accused of bullying. Some of them are true bullies, but recently we've seen a trend of false allegations of bullying. And it's completely ruined multiple people's careers. Yeah, because, I think that's the problem with being a true victim and these false allegations is that it happened so long ago that there might not be enough evidence. And so it's a really tricky situation. Yeah, very tricky. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how they would screen for something like that, but keep this in mind because maybe they didn't screen everyone. Okay? Just keep that in mind. So The Glory, it might seem like this really well-written show, and it is, but in the art imitates life kind of way. People start immediately drawing connections between the show and real-life bullying cases that were well-known in South Korea like many years ago. And the show was not just a genius Netflix idea. It was based off these true stories. And there's 3 central themes that The Glory explores, and all these themes have real-life cases that they were inspired by. The three elements, the three themes are bullying, suicide,
Right.
and revenge.
Okay.
Those are like the key themes in this whole K-drama.
Okay.
So let's explore the real life cases. The most standout aspect of the bullying in the show is that the bullies
Wanwu from 17 got in a bully for taking shit on a PlayStation game.
are burning Moon Dong-eun, the protagonist, with a curling iron. They're literally holding her down, taunting her, telling her that they're going to use her skin as a way to check the temperature of the curling iron to see if it's hot enough for their hair. In 2006, Chung, a middle schooler, again, I don't want to use her full name. I believe you can find it, but let's call her Student 2 for privacy reasons. Student 2 was hospitalized for 2 months. She had traumatic injuries all over her body. Her parents, doctors, even the police were called to the hospital when she was brought in because, I mean, they were alerted, they were alarmed. They were confused on how she got these injuries to begin with.
It's just so crazy. It's so crazy because as a parent, if my child came home like this, if my child came home with burns like this and like, you know, we done tried to go to the teachers, you know, before all of this got this extreme, we tried to go to the teachers, we tried to go to the police, nobody did nothing, the school burning down. And I'm just keeping it a whole 100,000 with you. If my child come home with burns and the school didn't do nothing, the police they know that, okay, then I have to take it into my own hands as a parent. It's gonna burn. It's gonna burn, bro. You know, that shit may not be the best way to put it, but it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like, if I'm telling you, hey, my kid's being bullied, I need y'all to do something about it. Okay, we'll look into it. Hey, my kid got bullied again. What things have you found when you went to go look into it? I mean, we haven't. I mean, we've been trying to keep an eye on it, but we can't catch him when it happens. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you the third time. If it happens again, you're gonna be flipping burgers somewhere because you're not gonna be able to work here. You know what I'm saying? If it happens again and my kid end up like this, yeah. Disco Inferno, burn, baby,
They were concerned
burn.
for her current health state, her mental state. It's almost like she didn't even realize that she was in pain, though. The whole time, she's just begging her parents, "You have to let me transfer
In GTA, my fault. Yeah, in GTA, in GTA.
to a different pain, though. The whole time, she's just begging her parents, "You have to let me transfer to a different school. You have to let me transfer to a different school." It's a bit of an odd reaction. The parents are more concerned about, like, what happened to you? Who did this to you? Why do you care about transferring to a new school right now?
What?
But she just kept repeating, "You have to let me transfer to a different school. Please, like, I'm scared of my friends." Finally, with enough begging, Student 2 tells everyone what happened to her. And it's a story that I don't think most of South Koreans have ever forgotten. According to Student 2,
Yeah.
her hell on earth started 20 days ago. It lasted a full 20 days.
Damn.
May 2nd, she was on her way home from school, and she always takes the same route. She always does. She listens to the music. She kind of just stares at the ground, and she's daydreaming when she sees several pairs of feet just right in front of her, blocking her way. She looks up. She sees a group of female students from her class.
I ain't gonna lie. Side note: she's an amazing storyteller. Like, she can tell some goddamn stories. Like, I'm intrigued. Like this. Like, yeah, she's just an amazing storyteller.
Blocking her way. She looks up. She sees a group of female students from her class. Let's call them A, B, and C. So 3 girls. They're known to be bullies. Like, that's what they're known for in their class. So Student 2, I mean, she always made sure to stay out of their way, kind of. She never really even existed in the same circle of friends. They're just the type of girls that she would avoid in the classroom. She wouldn't even make eye contact with them. So it was strange that they would just approach her out of nowhere.
Right.
It's very random. Either way, they ask her a question. And maybe she was so scared. Maybe she didn't know what answer would be appropriate.
Right.
But she didn't respond. She just kind of stood there with her head hung.
She's
And
intimidated.
immediately, smack.
What?
Right away, she was physically assaulted for not answering the question. She said, "I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't make a mistake in particular that I could think of. I think that they were just angry that I didn't respond quickly enough to their question. But from that day, I became their new target." The bullies started demanding that Student 2 give up all of her allowance to them. And when they burned through her allowance, so let's say she gets $20 a week, they would force Student 2 to beg her parents for more money. She'd beg her parents, and when she tried to tell the police, my family doesn't have that much to spare. Please, like, we don't have that much money. I don't have anything more to give you. They would start physically assaulting her. They would jump her.
What?
And that was just the beginning. Like, just the punches and slaps and the kicks, that was the beginning. Eventually, they felt like that wasn't getting the point across. So they sadistically pulled out one of their curling irons, plugged it in.
And burned.
2 of the girls held her down by her arms. And the third bully started burning her, holding the hot curling iron to her bare skin.
Oh my
Literally
God.
just like the drama, because the drama is technically based off of this case, or at least this aspect. She said that you could hear her skin sizzling off her body, and when they removed it, she's left with these big giant red welts
Like
on her
boils.
body. And that's not even the worst part. As it heals, you know how it fills with pus,
Yeah.
and then eventually it scabs over.
Yeah.
Student 2 said, it was so painful. I felt like I was gonna die. I couldn't even move or resist. I just wanted to run. They told me if I screamed from the pain that they would kill me.
What? Oh, this is pissing me off, bro.
But that's not all. Once the wound started to finally heal and scab over, the bullies, the 3 girls, they would corner her after school and they would demand to see her wound.
Hold on. Do you know how, like, this is so bad. But, like, do you know how strong-minded you have to be to, like, literally be forced down and burned and not yell? Like, do you know how strong, like, bro, I would have just been like, bro, just unalive me, bro. Just take me, like, just to even get bullied. Like, do you know how strong-minded, like, that's why bullies have some of the weakest minds, and, like, you gotta run with a pack to, this shit is so lame, bro.
The 3 girls, they would corner her after school and they would demand to see her wound. And
They would demand to see her wound.
while laughing amongst each other, they would rip the scabs off her body.
Like, bro, I gotta kill you. I gotta kill you. I gotta, bro. In GTA, I really, like, I have, bro, I gotta kill you, bro.
Sometimes they would want her to be traumatized more, and they would force her to rip her own scabs off her body. She was also beaten with a baseball bat. She suffered from a protruding tailbone, which is a result of the abuse. And as student 2 is talking about what happened to her, she seems to kind of hesitate, as if there's more to the story. So the journalist, everyone's pushing her to open up, that she's safe now, she doesn't have to be scared of these bullies anymore. And she tells everyone that there's more scars on her chest. The bullies had tried to permanently disfigure her chest. There are streak marks all around. It looked like someone had taken like a clothespin, a safety pin, and just started digging into her skin to make red slash marks everywhere. And it looked like it happened over the period of the 20 days. Some wounds were healing.
I truly don't understand how some of y'all can, like, watch Rotten Mango, like, religiously. I can't watch, like, I can't sit here and watch another episode. Like, don't get me wrong, bro. It's so, like, she's such a fantastic storyteller, and I like, you know, true crime shit. Like, that shit's, like, you know, but it's just at a point where, like, this shit right here is just pissing. Like, maybe I can watch the real life Squid Games, but, like, when it comes to bullying to this extent, bruh, like, this is, I can't watch something else like this. You know, I don't understand how people watch this and eat. That's what I'm saying. Y'all brave, because I couldn't do it.
Some looked more fresh than others. Her father was these are not public, but her father showed the reporters pictures for evidence to show them, yes, this indeed did happen. And it was like this gut-wrenching moment for the father. He works as a chef, and he said that every day during those 20 days, he came home and he did notice things. He didn't think it was a big deal, but always in the middle of the night for the past month, he would wake up to screams coming from his daughter's room. He would wake up, check the time, and the next morning when he asked, she was just having nightmares. So when it happened again, he's like, oh, was she just having nightmares? Which she was, but it was happening a lot during the time that she was getting tortured. He regrets not asking her or demanding to know what was going on, or even trying to wake her up. On top of that, around the same time, his daughter was begging to be transferred to a different school, and he didn't take it seriously. He thought that maybe she was trying to switch schools because it was less academically intense, or maybe a close friend of hers was going to a different school. He thought it was something like that. You know, one of those like kid excuses. That's kind of what he chalked it up to. He thought he was making the right move as a parent by making her stick it out at this school. Once he found out the truth, now he couldn't sleep at night. He was just seething with anger. He demanded answers from the school on how they could even let this happen. He begged his daughter to give up the names of the bullies.
Right.
And she was so hesitant. She's like, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. And she said that they were going to kill her if she ever named them as the bullies.
Well, I need to know their names so we can kill them first. What? Oh, fuck. Hold on. No. In GTA, though. You know what I'm saying? In GTA.
Finally, with enough prodding, student 2 tells her parents and the school who did this, and everyone's kind of shocked. The girls she named are not the type of girls that would be bullies. They're not the type of girls that would bully anybody. And I know, like these girls can be perceived a certain way, but actually be completely evil. That wasn't the case here. These 3 girls genuinely did not bully student 2.
What do you mean?
Student 2 confessed
Wait, what?
that she was bullied into lying by the 3 real bullies.
Wait, run that back, gang?
Student 2 confessed that she was bullied into lying by the 3 real bullies.
So she just named 3 strangers?
3 random girls in the school that the bullies
What?
wanted her to name.
Wow. So, okay, what?
In the end, they did get down to the bottom of it and found out the identity of the actual bullies, the 3 girls, and the school said they were going to investigate. After their investigation, they came out with a statement where they said, "We've conducted an internal investigation."
Some bullshit.
God, I love internal investigations. And we've closed the case because student 2 and the 3 girls' stories aren't matching up.
See, that's what I'm saying. When a school says that, when they start off with, we're going to conduct an investigation. Stop it. Because if you don't, and if you're just, saying this just so I feel better as a parent, so I feel better, as I guess you could say a student that just schools, they say that shit just to make you have a peace of mind, but they truly don't investigate shit. Like, they just say that just so you can sleep at night.
Yeah.
What?
If that's not the most obvious thing in the world, of course it's not matching up. But the school continues. For us, it's becoming a case of she said, they said. The only thing we can confirm at this time is that she, student 2, had fallen off of a bike at one point, and that could result in some of her injuries, insinuating that potentially a lot of her injuries could have happened when she accidentally fell off a bike, which other classmates did witness this bike fall.
Nigga, I got burns. A bike fall is a scrape. Your skin will be scraped off. I got burns. What?
Which I don't know how in the world that would be feasible to get like 3rd-degree burn marks from falling off a bike. Her father said, I just can't believe how a school can be this lukewarm about a cruel case like this. A lot of netizens agreed. They posted about this case. They accused the school administrators of being corrupt, and they wrote, "Did the school get bribed by the perpetrators' parents?" Their response makes this whole situation worse. Just look at the pictures of her arms. If someone did this in the army or in the street, the police would have a field day. They wouldn't just ignore it.
Right.
So why are the police ignoring it when it happens in a middle school?
Oh my God, this
Which
is
you should,
middle school.
where you should even, put more resources and really get to the bottom of the shit and put the people behind bars that really, it should be even more intense because it is a middle school.
Ignore it. So why are the police ignoring it when it happens in a middle school?
Oh my God, this is middle school?
Yeah, most of the stories we're talking about are
Middle school is crazy.
So like, what, 13, 12?
13, 14.
Yeah, bro, those are little demons. They're demons. I hate I honestly don't hate to say it. I truly don't give a fuck. Those are demons. Fuck the whole, your frontal cortex don't develop till they're demons. They're demons.
Does the school really believe this is a case of 2 sides having different perspectives? So the sentiment became, okay, fine. The school and the police won't do anything about it. Let the netizens do it. Let's expose these girls. But once news started spreading about this case, the police were forced to investigate, and this is when the main bully They call her Kim.
Facts.
Kim confesses to the police for her crimes.
The main
And
bully
again,
does.
she didn't do this because she felt remorseful. It's, if you're a minor, you confess to a crime, it's kind of well known that you get a higher chance of getting probation. So even the way she confessed showed that she had zero remorse for what she did. She straight up said, yeah, I burned her about 9 times with a curling iron.
Oh my
I hit
God.
her around the head a couple of times, legs and arms maybe about like 7 times. This lasted for 20 days, and it's because student 2 promised me something and she didn't keep her promise. She also stated that she didn't turn
What? That's not even.
herself in sooner because the whole situation was, quote, getting out of hand. She was promptly arrested, which is rare because Korea's law for minors is incredibly generous. Like if you're under the age of 14 and you commit a heinous crime such as rape, you still get probation. You get to go home. It's not even going to be on your record.
And then the names.
Oh my God.
Nobody knows the names.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody will know what you did at 13 years old. And I'm sure that will only escalate when you're 23, 33.
Right.
The judge said, I arrested this girl because I wanted to set a precedent for how serious school bullying is in South Korea. Kim was arrested and sentenced, but I don't know what kind of precedent this judge was really trying to set out other than maybe
What
trying
was
to
this?
look good for a second there in the press. Because at the time, nobody knew the extent of her sentencing. He was like, this is private confidential information in the eyes of the law. We can't let it be known.
Right.
So people move on. We don't know if we're looking at juvenile detention center. We don't know if we're looking at probation, 2 days community service. The teachers involved in the case were also investigated and had administrative punishment, which is
It's like leave for like it's like saying like they just got fucking paid leave basically.
unknown again what the extent was that because the school refused to tell reporters, but I imagine a week paid time off, which is not a real punishment.
Right.
Meanwhile, student 2 has to live with the emotional, the mental scars of this for the rest of her life. After 2 months in inpatient care, 2 months, she had to go to a psychiatric hospital. And this is in 2006, right? So this all passes over. And then with the glory trending recently,
If you kill someone as a minor in Korea, you'll probably only get a year in juvenile.
a lot of people are revisiting this case. And netizens are still furious. And there was an interesting question that was brought up. Like, do you think that these bullies grew up and regret what they did? Do you think that they live with shame and hate? There was so much newfound interest in this case and interest in what happened to that evil middle schooler. Like, what did she grow up to be? Now, obviously, we can't hunt this girl down, but huge news networks were able to dig into her sentencing in 2006 when the judge was like, I want to set a precedent for how we're going to take bullying seriously.
Right.
Kim, the main perpetrator, was sentenced to probation, meaning she was basically arrested for show and went straight back home to her family that night.
Burn them. Burn the school, bro. In GTA, if I'm a parent and I the bully, the shit comes to light what the bully did to my kid, and this is the punishment. Yeah, nobody learning for until they build the shit back up. Nobody's like that shit. No. Nope. That shit will be burned to the ground in GTA.
Right. The only punishment, if you can even call it that, was that an officer might stop by her house once in a while to make sure she's following the laws and not bullying people.
Wow.
This is probably the lightest punishment that she could have ever received. This is also not going to stay on her permanent record, meaning she could go into any career field after torturing a middle schooler to the point of scarring her for life.
That's facts, bro. That's not even bullying. They're just that's torture. Like that's, and you only get
She could go on to be a police officer. We don't know what she is right now. She could be a police officer, a
Healthcare
doctor,
worker, yeah.
yes, a nurse, truly, whatever she wants. And maybe she did become a healthcare worker. Like, can you imagine that? Not knowing that the doctor that you're supposed to trust with your life and health permanently scarred someone for the fun of it.
else, right?
Because that's exactly what happened to student number 3. Student 3, Park Sang-min, So she is in a whole news network recently. She has fully released her identity, but we're going to call her Student 3.
Okay.
She's 31 years old right now.
Okay.
And her 2 bullies had burned her arms in middle school with a hair straightener. They had literally clamped her arm into a hair
Oh
straightener.
my God.
The 2 bullies would go on to become a nurse and a social worker.
What? A social?
At 30,
How? How? How?
the 2 bullies would go on to become a nurse and a social worker. At 31 years old, Student 3 was trying to move on with her life. I mean, as best as she could, right? She still couldn't wear short sleeves during the summers in Korea, which, if you know, it's scorching hot. Every time she wore short sleeves, she said that she would catch a glimpse of herself in the mirror and she would just burst into tears. But sometimes she would try to be strong. She'd be like, you know what? I'm going to wear this short sleeve. Who cares, right? And then she would walk out of her room and she would see her parents' eyes fall to her arms. And she would just see their whole energy, their mood shift. They would get emotional. They would get angry. And she didn't want to dig up these complicated, buried memories again.
And that's the thing. Like people don't understand how, how shit affects people over time. Like the bullies, the demons, the devil's children. In that moment, they was probably like, okay, this is fun for now. Or like, yeah, like we're bullying, blah, blah, blah. And then like they probably got in trouble and then they were like, damn, like, we're going to just go on with our life after that. But your victim doesn't heal. And even if you do heal, especially when it comes to those scars, it's a permanent reminder. Like even me to this day, like I still remember exactly what my bully looked like. I remember what that nigga smelled like. I remember what class period I had with him. I remember everything. And I healed from it now because, you know, at a certain point in time, I stood up for myself and we had to tussle it out. You know what I'm saying? We had to tussle it out. But I still remember how bullying made me feel. Like I still remember that shit. And even though I stood up for myself and fought back, those, like that emotion don't go away. You know, like when I say smell, I mean like the smell of the classroom, you know, smell of, you know what I'm saying, type shit. But yeah, but I stood up for myself. I hit him with a quick, you know what I'm saying, I hit him with some crazy shit that I didn't even know I had in me. But the emotion of still being bullied, like in the back of the bus, still being bullied going to class, that shit don't go nowhere, bro. I could have beat my bully to a pulp. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. I got hits off, but I could have beat him to a pulp, and the whole school would have been like, "Oh, Nigel, like you won." You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I still have to live with the emotions of what my experience with bullying was before that. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was feeling so scared to go to school, but when I came home, my parents knew by my face what was happening and called the school right away. And my dad said he was gonna kill the kid in GTA. That, bro, my dad was the same way. Like, it was one time I was getting bullied by this like gang member. Like, he was like a gang member. Like for real. And my dad was in the military, and I was scared to tell my dad like about what happened. Cause I'm like, Dad, this nigga's like, he's in a gang, bro. Like, I'm talking about, he had his flag on him and all of that shit. So I was like, Dad, like, I'm getting bullied, but it's cool. Like, I'm gonna just stick through it. This was like 8th grade. And he was like, no, we gonna do something about this. So then I told him. Nigga went up to the school. He told the school, and like I guess he went up there so fiercely, so fiercely with it, and so like he was adamant about it that it got back around to the gang member that was bullying me, but the nigga stopped bullying me. It just stopped. I'm talking about same day type shit. It just stopped, and you know. It was one time. It was one time after my dad had went up to the school. The bully had like moved seats and like sat on a different side of the classroom, and one of my friends was like, oh, you ain't getting picked on by old buddy no more, the bully, the gang member, whatever. And then I guess he had heard him say that, and he was like, nah, cause he gonna tell on me. I said, you damn right. You damn right. I think I'm telling the police next time. Stay your ass over there. You goddamn right. I'm calling you. You goddamn right. You know. But that's the thing, bro. I was scared, but my dad told me, he was like, I don't care what your bully, I don't care what he portrays himself as. I don't care if he in a gang. I don't give a damn. I don't like, you tell me. I said, that's an order. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I was a snitch. Listen, if something happened to me, if I walk outside today and something happened to me, I don't uphold no street codes. I'm calling the police. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling the police. But it's just so crazy how, like, you know, a lot of us have been bullied, bro. Like, I think damn near everybody has witnessed some form of bullying, some more severe than others. But yeah, bro, bullying is a horrific thing. But like I said, you're never alone. You're never alone. For real, for real.
For everyone. She didn't want to dig up these complicated buried memories again. For everyone. So she never really wore short sleeves. She also really couldn't go out to the hair salon without feeling anxious. And
why you up so early? Bro, I'm a whole 2 hours late. What did I miss? Nothing. I think this is like my first video. We was literally sleep on the couch. Like, we was just cool and sleeping. You know, we literally just woke up type shit, you know.
All of this has to do with the fact that in second year of middle school,
hurt people.
Seventh grade, bullies had forced her down, grabbed a hair straightener, clamped it on her arm for 5 minutes.
Yo.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Leaving her with a permanent scar for the rest of her life. It didn't start like that, though. The bullying escalated over the course of a year till it got so bad, finally someone noticed. And it didn't start with a hair straightener. It actually started with $1. Student 3 said that she was minding her own business. And kind of similar to the last story, but 2 of the girls in her grade came up to her and asked to borrow $1. She's like, okay, these were random girls asking me for $1. I'm just going to give it to them. The next day, they asked for another $1. Okay, maybe they're hungry, they forgot their lunch or something. She gives them another $1. And soon, they're not borrowing dollars, they're demanding money. They would walk over and instead of, hey, can I borrow $1? It's like, hey, give me $1. And it wasn't just $1 anymore. It was suddenly $10, $30, $50, $100. When she asked them, wait, why do I need to give you this money? Like, I'm so confused. You haven't paid me back. What are you even using this money for? Like, why are you taking my money?
But I feel like you also gotta protect yourself. Like, you gotta be like, you can't like, bro, like, you just, and you know, how can I say this the best way? I'm not giving nobody $1. Like, no matter how old I was, bro, I wasn't giving nobody $1. I wasn't giving nobody money. Like, bro, you just have to beat my ass. I'm not giving you money, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Some people, like, you just may just be in that much fear to where it's like, okay, I gotta get this person this because if not, I might get harmed. Bro, no, bro. For me, I'm not. You not, bro. You beat my ass, but I'm not giving you money though. You know?
Money. They would say, because your existence is an inconvenience to me.
What?
So pay up. And maybe if it had stopped there at the financial bullying, maybe the trauma wouldn't be as life-altering, but eventually she ran out of allowance money to give them. They started becoming physical with her. They started slapping her and beating her. They would drag her to one of the girls' houses.
What?
So Bully A's house, and they would use her as a punching bag for hours. They would just make her sit in the corner of the room, and these bullies would sit and giggle, gaggle, gossip, and then the minute that they felt a little bit of anger rise in their system, they would walk over and just torture her for the fun of it. Later in interviews, people were confused about this. You know, they asked her, why did you go to the girls' houses?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Couldn't you have just called for help or left? I mean, surely they didn't drag you all the way. Like, someone would have noticed if they're dragging you by the hair, right? They also asked how the bully's parents never realized that they were keeping a girl in the room just to bully her. Sometimes the bullying was for days. The bullies were very resourceful. They threatened student 3 that if she didn't follow them back to girl A's house, they would go and find her little brother and physically assault him instead.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. If you threaten my family, especially my little brother, yeah, like, you have to be released from this planet. Like, I get it. Like, you're like, damn, I don't want this to happen to my little brother, so I'm gonna just take it. For me, like, bullying me is one thing, but you bullying people I love, yeah, your existence is gonna expire.
Dead.
Expire.
This was the threat that they constantly hung over her head. That's also why she never told the authorities, school administrators, or even her parents. She knew that the bullies would probably get off light anyway, and her brother would be their new target. So I think this is where the system is wrong. You know, I think if you're in a situation like that, you can tell the administrators and something does take action to the point where they cannot hurt you or your loved ones, then of course people are going to say something. As for the bully A's parents, she lied to them. She's like, Amma, this is my friend, and she just ran away from home. Her mom is super abusive, and she's even contemplating suicide. I just want to be there for her as a friend. Is it okay if she sleeps over for a few days? The mom would be like, wow, daughter, you're such a good friend. And since Bully A's parents would both work really long hours, they would all be at Bully A's house and using student 3 as a punching bag. The abuse went from punching and slapping to grabbing a fork and stabbing it all over her body, like head to toe. The two bullies would grab whatever item was nearby, and they would throw it at her face. One time they threw a plastic pipe at her face, and it permanently damaged her cornea. And she has slight vision problems ever since. The longest time she's ever stayed at her bully's house was for 3 days, and they basically...
3 days?!
Slight vision problems ever since. The longest time she's ever stayed at her bully's house was for 3 days, and they basically starved her the entire time. During this interview, student 3 was asked, why didn't you try to leave at one point, you know? Especially when your eye is damaged, you didn't try to ever run away from the house? And she said there was no point. One time she did. They knew where she lived. They would either get to her brother, or once they came over and they trashed her entire house, making it difficult for her family. They would flip furniture, ransack the whole place, all because she refused to come to Girl A's house.
Like, oh my God. At that point, nothing's off limits. Like not even at that point, but like, if you, first of all, if you bullying me, right? I don't even know what to say because it's pissing me off. Cause like, I'm killing you, bro. I'm killing you. I'm killing you, bro. And I know you probably like Nigel, like if you in that situation, you probably wouldn't even blah, blah, blah. Like for me though, I know me. I've lived with me forever. I know that there's a certain point where I just break. That's why I was able to stand up to my bullies and be like, bro, fuck it. We finna, you know, tussle. Because it was just a certain point in my brain where it's just like, we can't take this shit no more. And we are going to stop this by any means. Yeah. You'd have been done. Done, bro. Done. And then you threatening my little brother. And then you trashing my family crib. Like,
like there was no part of student 3 that was safe. She was constantly covered in bruises and welts and just desperately trying to hide this from the adults. For 6 months, while the abuse lasted, she couldn't even fall asleep. Just like student 2, every time she closed her eyes, she would have these intense nightmares. So for 6 months, she felt like a sleepless zombie, just going through the motions of life and abuse. She tried gathering as many sleeping pills as she could and tried to take them in hopes of getting a dreamless sleep, but it just wasn't working. She even, in a desperate attempt, told her mom, Mom, I just want to go to sleep. I just want to sleep. I want to sleep so bad. I want to die. Like, what do I do? She said that she would zone out and stare out of her window of their apartment on the 3rd floor and wonder, if I fell out of the window, what are the chances of me surviving?
yo.
If she went to her friends' apartments and they had balconies on higher floors, she always wondered if maybe this would be the place that she would come and jump if she had to take her own life. She said she constantly looked down at the ground and wondered, would I die? Would I live? Would I die? And then one spring day, student 3 was wearing a long sleeve white shirt because she can't wear short sleeves. But the wound on her arm wasn't healing properly, and it had this like giant bubble of pus, like it was filled with liquid.
Like a
And it
boil?
was bulging out of her shirt.
Oh
and her
my
teacher noticed it
God.
and brought her in to be examined. But the pus made the shirt stick to her arm. They had to cut the shirt off of her to
Oh
examine her.
my God.
Her parents were informed, and that's how the bullying came to light. One of the most heartbreaking parts of the story is that she was asked on the show what she would like to say about her bullying and how it was handled. And she talked about how during the time, there were a lot of adults in her life that asked her, well, what did you do? Like, not saying it's your fault, but you must have done something to make the girls react like this.
What are you talking about?
Wow.
She said, if there's one thing she would like to say is she would tell these adults that she did nothing wrong. The bullies were forced to apologize for what they did to her, and it wasn't a real or true apology. One of them was straight up laughing while she apologized. And you guessed it, 0 consequences. The main bully was given 40-hour community service.
40-hour community service for damn near starving someone to death and stabbing someone and burning someone. 48 hours of community service. What kind of world do we live in, gang?
And a 1-week school suspension. She wasn't even expended.
But you know what's so crazy? Like, even though these individuals are not getting punished the way that we would want them to be punished, if you believe in a higher power, you're gonna have to answer for the shit you did on this earth. So even though it may look like you're getting away with shit or you got off, to us, to everybody, like it may look like the punishment wasn't severe, which it wasn't. But you got someone else to answer to. You know what I'm saying? And if you truly, in your heart of hearts, are not sorry, if you're not truly sorry, if you truly don't feel so bad for your victims, like I said, if you're not truly sorry, bro, you're gonna, where you going is, you know, it ain't gonna be no pools there, but it's gonna be hot. Ain't gonna be no water, but it's gonna be hot. Yeah. Yeah. So we may think they got off, like, damn, they should have gotten a more severe punishment. We don't know what they might get after, you know, we ascend to the next life. Well, they descend to the next life.
I feel like these bullies, they should at least get exactly what they did to the victims.
Yes.
Yeah, you scar someone for life.
Yeah.
You get the same scar.
Facts.
At least.
Right, at least, right.
Because
exactly.
it was your first choice to even give a scar.
And also the fact that you did, even if the bully gets the scar, it still doesn't take away the trauma the victim's going to live with for the rest of their lives. I just don't see how they think just apology will do.
It reminds me of how a lot.
That's the thing, though, but that's kind of tricky because I don't think you should fight fire with fire. I think you should fight fire with a nuclear fucking bomb. So, drop him out, drop them, like, get the bully and drop him out the fucking sky. That's what I think should be done. Okay, let me stop. In Grand Theft Auto, I'm trolling. Let me stop. But I'm not trolling, I'm dead ass.
I don't see how they think just apology will do.
It reminds me of how a lot of countries, including the U.S., treat like sexual assault cases.
Yes,
There's so
exactly.
much concern about the perpetrator's future.
Exactly.
Like, we can't let this mistake ruin their future.
They didn't give a fuck about their future.
What's worse is that she and the main bully ended up at the same college.
Oh, damn.
And they bumped into each other. So this is after middle school.
Oh, damn.
Middle school is when the
Oh,
abuse
damn.
took place. After high school,
Oh,
in
shit. Oh,
college,
shit.
they
Oh, shit.
bumped
Oh, shit.
into
Oh,
each
shit. Oh,
other.
shit.
And maybe you would think that this bully has some sort of remorse.
Right.
No. She smirked, walked up to student 3 with all of her friends and said, I know this girl. What major are you? Student 3 said that she was shaking the whole time. She was so angry, so scared, she couldn't even respond. Like, it was like her trauma was flooding back to her. Thankfully, they didn't have any more run-ins after that, and Student 3 had friends that stuck by her in college. And it wasn't easy making friends. She said after her abuse, she was...
On site is the best answer. Like, I oh my God. Yes.
Just having such a hard time trusting anyone that wanted to befriend her. She felt like they were wolves in sheep's clothing. A lot of friends stuck by, even when she was not trusting of them. And now she has stopped taking sleep medications. She's been able to find some happiness and move on. And even though she's moved on, there's really no justice in this story either. She has to apologize to every hairstylist and hairdresser to not use a hot tool in her hair, because the minute that they pick up a hot iron, she starts to panic. And to make matters worse, the last time she checked on the two bullies, one of them was a nurse and the other one was in social work.
I'm ruining your life. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, once I figure out where you work at and I know that you bullied the hell out of me and you caused traumatic scarring mentally and physically, you're not working anywhere for more than 30 seconds. I'm telling you, I am going to ruin your life. Ruin your life. That is insane. A social worker, I think, is the craziest one. A social worker, I think, is the crazy. Unless that bully may have, truly felt sorry and turned their entire life around and wanted to help people that they were, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be like that too, though. And I'm not trying to look out for the bully, but it could be that too. They feel so bad for what they did that they just want to help any kids. You know what I'm saying? For sure. I mean, playing devil's advocate here, but I'm not a devil's advocate, but I'm playing, you know what I'm saying? But it could be. I don't know.
Post about doing charitable work. She said that she was speechless at the audacity of these people. I mean, she was angered by their choice of profession. And once the show The Glory came out, her friends were texting her asking if she was okay, because the show reminded them so much of what happened to her. Student 3 says she cannot bring herself to watch the K-drama. And more recently, there was a case that also reminded people of The Glory. And this one I don't think inspired The Glory because it was so recent, but this just goes to show, like, nothing has really changed. July 15, 2020, let's call him student 4. A young man, 22 years old, July 15th was his birthday. He didn't really have any special plans, so a group of acquaintances had texted him, hey, let's go celebrate for your birthday. He took them up on it. I mean, it's kind of sweet of them to remember his birthday even, right? The acquaintances, I don't even think they can be categorized as human beings. They met up with student 4, dragged him.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are these classmates or are these
classmates.
colleagues?
Yeah.
Oh, in college?
So they dragged him to a nearby vacant lot, like a parking lot, for his birthday, right? And they're like acquaintances, so just like random classmates, not necessarily friends, right? But
they're in school.
Yeah, so you wouldn't think that these are bad people. It's not like strangers that you meet online. You know them from class. They bring a chair to the parking lot. They tie him up to the chair, cover his face with a hood, and they tell him that they had prepared a special birthday candle present for him. Birthday candle.
They
tricked
tied him to the chair?
Yeah. Like
Bro, this is the video.
Ankles, his arms behind the chair, everything.
Bro.
Put a hood over his head. And they get close to him and they say, so let's celebrate your birthday. They spray gasoline all over his body.
Bro.
And they put one firework on each knee. And they light the firework.
They're trying to kill them.
Slowly going down.
They're trying to kill him.
Basically.
Like sadistically kill.
But if you really think about it, if he were to kill, unalive them, it's what's the word? I was gonna say amputated. What's the fucking word, man? It's self-defense, but it's another word for it. It's self-defense, but it's another word for it, man. But yes, like, you can, like, bro, they tried to kill him, so I'm trying to kill you. It's a word.
When the fireworks exploded, the fire caught onto student 4's whole body. He said, it was so hot and painful, I fell over. They saw me in pain and they just kept telling me, keep rolling.
W sub.
Fell
What?
over. They saw me in pain and they just kept telling me, keep rolling to put out the fire.
Oh
That's what they said. They saw a literal human being on fire and they said, keep rolling. I thought I was going to die like this. When I begged them to call 119, emergency services, they said, this place is a little isolated, so it might take too long for the ambulances to come. Student 4 has third-degree burns on 40% of his entire body.
Oh my God.
That's not even the part that'll get your blood boiling.
Okay, I don't want to hear the next part.
The perpetrators got away with probation. Meanwhile, Student 4 is not only left with irreparable damage of what they did mentally, physically, but he's also been left with an $80,000 medical bill. He has to get a skin transplant surgery as well as reconstructive treatment, which, yes, the perpetrators did settle monetarily for what they did, which the amount was decided by prosecutors and not really agreed upon by the parties involved. The families only paid $40,000. Student 4's family demanded the bullies pay the rest, and they all said, well, what do you want us to do? We don't have money. There is a current civil suit against the bullies, but I mean, the fact that we're even here is wild. Student 4's family is filing a lawsuit because the justice system couldn't get them justice the first time around. So how is the case being handled like this? Originally in 2020, I think that this received a lot of attention, but with the glory being a big conversation, it's become there's a resurgence on this topic. The case has gotten a lot more attention in the public eye, and people are so unhappy. Like, the parallels between the drama, the corruption from the legal system side. Netizens wrote, is the prosecutor on this case they lit someone on fire and they're getting probation? To all the prosecutors in this country, how?
Yeah, so it just seems like you can get away with anything, like over there. Like you can truly get away with anything.
How exactly are you calculating these crimes? How do attempted murderers end up with probation? Does the victim need to die for perpetrators to be punished? A person was almost burned to death and probation? You guys are crazy people. Are you joking? Someone commented what a lot of us are probably thinking right now. Throw them all in jail and set them on fire. Student 4's mom said, it doesn't matter what we wanted. The prosecutors didn't care.
Oh my God. Why don't we just get all of the bullies together and treat that shit like the Hunger Games? Why don't we get all of the bullies together? Since you want to bully, okay, cool. Kill each other. Kill each other.
Prosecutors didn't care what we had to say.
And then the victims can like control the world and like throw out wolves. You know what I'm saying? The victims control the world and like they can have a hunter squad go out there and oh my God, yes. Yes.
They just gave them probation.
Winner gets the worst punishment. Yes. Hello. How are you? You said what? Yeah, I'm gonna be ready at like 1 o'clock for real. I'm literally almost done. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, if you wanted to just, pull up and just, I mean, yeah. I'm gonna be done in like 10. Like, literally, I think. Yeah, we only got like 5 minutes left in this video, so we. No. Yeah. You're not rushing me. Yeah. So I'm gonna be done at like 1:15 because like I just gotta watch the video and like we could like 5 minutes left in the video type shit, All right. Fuck. Okay, here we go.
When the prosecutors didn't care what we had to say, they just gave them probation. When I asked for medical fees to be covered, everyone just shrugs and say they don't have money. So what can we do? And maybe these feel like extreme cases, which they are. But it doesn't change the fact that school bullying and primarily school violence is a huge problem.
I think that's maybe another reason probably why people continues to bully because of the consequences.
Right.
Nobody's scared. Nobody's terrified.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said.
It's like laughable, the consequences people get. I think you would get heavy punishment for cheating in South Korean schools versus physically assaulting someone. Like for cheating, getting caught cheating, unless you're the kid of a rich
even worse
parent,
punishments.
yeah, you might be expelled. I think also there's so many elements that have to do with school violence in South Korea. And I just want to put a disclaimer. I think school violence is prevalent everywhere. I think just in different forms.
Facts.
So in the US, we're pretty familiar with how school violence takes place. In South Korea, there's so many different elements of why it happens like this. There's the seniority complex between how even when you're 15, you have to bow down and properly greet people that are 16. I'm not talking
Insane.
adults,
Insane.
not the elderly, not your parents' friends.
Insane.
You have to talk to them with a completely different vernacular. It's called 존댓말. It's to show respect.
존댓말?
There's all of these things, and it's just, there's so many elements to it. Also, the teachers and school administrators in these.
Bro, who said send the winner to North Korea, bro? It's like 143, bro. Send the winner to North Korea. I'm fucking dead, bro. What the hell?
Schools are so focused on their careers, and they're so focused on making sure that they look good. And when you're a school administrator and there's bullying in your school, you look bad
Facts.
because you
That's
can't
the
even
issue
handle
here.
kids. Yeah. So there's so many problems with this. Again, corruption in schools, corruption in the government. There was a man appointed, Chung Sun-shin, as the chief of the National Office of Investigations. He was appointed. This is like a heavy title, huge political office, okay? One of his job duties was to investigate extreme cases of school violence in schools in Korea, right? He had to
Okay.
resign after 1 day in office.
He resigned after 1 day.
It was revealed that the first day in office, he used his position to help his son avoid punishment for bullying and school violence.
Wow.
This is the man that was supposed to be
On
in
the
charge
first
of getting
day?
justice for the victims. His son was a bully, and he helped cover it up. And his son goes to the Harvard of South Korea, Seoul대.
Oh
like,
my
where are the consequences for any of
God.
these people? Just like in The Glory.
It's like literally K-drama. This
Yes.
is like even in K-drama you're like, ugh, this
Even in-
can't be real.
Exactly. In K-drama, you're like, ugh, this is so far-fetched. Nobody really does that. Like that.
That's why I always say the truth is madder than fiction. The shit that we seeing nowadays, that you can't even make the shit up. Like it's like the shit that's true is even crazier than the shit that we make up in the movies and in the shows.
So an abuse of power. How do you get away with it? I think another huge incentive for authorities is that the law is so lenient to minors. It's almost seen as not really worth the work to investigate school bullying because you're going to investigate, spend all these resources, and then what, the 14-year-old is going to get probation anyway?
Right.
There needs to be something changed about the law.
Yes. So a lot of South Koreans have been arguing for lowering the age of the responsibility. And right now it's 14. They want to keep lowering it. I think recently it was lowered to 13. There should be a whole different set of laws for school violence, I think. Side note, the government does try to make it seem like they're doing a lot to stop violence, like installing more CCTV cameras near schools. But it's not really helping. There's about 20,000 CCTV cameras nearby schools around Seoul. 93% of them are said to be so low in resolution, it can't even identify who the bully is.
Yo.
Like potato.
So that's basically just saying, yeah, we're gonna we're doing this to kind of shut y'all up, basically. But it's not it's the bare minimum. We're just doing it because y'all are saying do it, but it's the bare minimum.
It's
you know
so
what I'm saying?
grainy. You can't tell which student is who. You can't tell which student is being beat and which student is beating. So I don't know why they're trying to pat themselves on the back for this. And again, I'm not trying to say South Korea is the only one that's bad.
Right.
I mean, again, look at what's going on in schools all around the world. It's horrible. But nearly 1 in 10 students in Korean schools, elementary through high school, 1 in 10 have suffered from school violence. Not just bullying, not verbal bullying, not being an outcast, not being a social pariah. I'm talking violence. 1 in 10. That's 10 out of every 100 students that is physically assaulted in school. We've talked about student 1, 2, 3, and 4 out of the 100. Let's talk about student 5. This case caused international outrage. In 2021, a Mongolian student living in South Korea was tortured for 6 hours by school bullies. 6 hours.
My
they
God.
recorded the assault. they tried to sell it to other classmates for $5.
What?
The video.
That's so freaking crazy. Like all these cases, they record it.
Yes.
All these bullying, they take pictures, they record it, they brag about it, they send it to their friends and classmates. It's like a sick thing they do.
I see a lot of people liken it to gang activity. So in gang activity, you almost flaunt your crimes as a threat to others.
Right.
Like, you see what I'm willing to do, right?
Right.
You see what I've done. I'm not
Right.
even scared. I guess it's supposed to establish some sort of street credit. I mean, they do get away with it. So, like, I can't even call them stupid because the law is stupid and they get away with it.
Facts.
So student
Facts.
5, the Mongolian student, had moved to South Korea about 10 years ago. So she's 14. She's basically been born and raised in South Korea. Like, not really, but she came here when she's 4. It's as much her home as it is anybody else's. But there are 4 excuses of a human being that did not think so. They basically kidnap student 5, kidnap her around midnight, July 3rd of 2021. They hold her for 6 hours, beat her. They humiliate her by placing her underwear on her head, taking videos of that. They wrote racist slurs on her forehead. They tied her up. They punched her over and over in the face. They were so proud of themselves. Like I said, they tried to sell this footage to their fellow classmates. Eventually, they were taken in by authorities. 2 were sentenced to a juvenile center, but 2 of them, since they were younger than 14,
It's like, bro, I'm mentally so just fed up with this bullying shit, man.
they couldn't even be held criminally responsible. And it's not just the older kids. Student 6 was 9 years old when her nightmare started. Like, these kids that we've been talking about so far have been 14, 15, and that's so young. That's so young. But student 6 was 9 years old. This is a
9 years old. I'm telling you, bro, if I'm a parent, everything is going to burn. Everything is going to burn.
very recent case in the winter of 2022. So just a couple months ago, a 12-year-old boy had called up student 6, a 9-year-old girl that he went to the same school as. She's in 3rd grade. And he's like, hey, come onto the rooftop of the apartment that we live in and let's hang out. I want to play fun games with you. And he's like forcing her to come to the rooftop to play with him. He had made a surprise for her to play on. It's the winter, so it's snowing a lot in South Korea.
This is in school or what?
No, after school. They go to the same school.
Oh, okay. What is that?
He said it's a snow bed.
Uh-huh.
He told her to lie down. She was sexually assaulted
What the fuck?
by the 12-year-old boy.
And he's 12.
After that,
He's
he convinced her to-
12 years old. He's 12 years.
To send pictures of herself to him and threatened to make her a wangta in school, meaning a complete loner in school if she did not. She was too scared to say anything, and the only reason he was caught was because a school teacher happened upon the messages by chance. What's crazy is the school did not take action.
Let's watch something else, bro. Let's watch something else, bro. Let's watch something else, bro. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro. Jeez Louise. Oh my God, bro. Oh my fucking gosh, bro. A 12-year-old, bro. What the? Oh my God! No, I ain't gonna lie, his bald ass pissed me off too. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. This is like, it's sickening. It's sickening, gang. Oh my God. Bro, what's that shit called, bro? Oh my God. Oh my God, bro.
Hey now, hey wow, here's how. Come and read between the lines. Come on, come in.
shit is so sickening, bro. I needed a cleanse. Yo, 12 years old, dog. Oh my god. Oh my god. Gang, I ain't gonna lie, that's it. I ain't, bro. Yeah, listen, I can't watch another Rotten Mango shit for another maybe month. Another month. She's an amazing storyteller, amazing reporter, but bro, it's just some shit in this world you just don't want to hear. Damn. Jeez. But bro. Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it's raps. I don't really care how. Like, I was thinking like it was gonna be like all of this messed up stuff happened, and then the victims got revenge on the bullies, and we screamed hooray. But it's like it was just. Hold on, this is the most replayed part right here.
Part 2 was released. Literally hours before Part 2 was released, Student 10 came out to accuse the producer of The Glory for bullying.
What?
And
who? The producer of the show
is a producer on the show The Glory, and it's said that a former classmate from the Philippines, because producer On studied abroad, Student 10 said, yeah, he himself was a freaking bully.
He said
in
himself.
1996, he was in middle school. Student 10 was in middle school. Producer On was in high school, but he was dating a middle school girlfriend, right? And Student 10 and his friends had teased the producer's girlfriend. So, like just very middle school play, bickering, joking around. But Student 10 was suddenly summoned to be brought in front of the producer and his friends like they were some sort of panel judges. And from there, Student 10 was jumped by the producer and his friends.
What the
assault lasted for nearly 2 hours.
2 hours? How?
The producer and his friends, and he was yelling at him, I'll bring a knife and I'll stab you. Student 10 wrote, I just found it absurd and unforgivable that he was directing a TV show about
bullying
to school violence when he literally assaulted me. I was so upset, I wanted to go public with what happened. The producer immediately responded publicly by saying, it is true I went to school in the Philippines in 1996, but I never was violent with anyone. I don't recall ever ganging up on someone and assaulting them. But as quickly as he tried to shut down the claims, his former girlfriend, a middle school girlfriend at the time, remember? She came forward and said, I do remember Student 10 being abused.
Yo, I mean, bro.
And all he did was tease me. And honestly, if I had known that producer On was gonna beat him, I wouldn't have told him. It was just very normal bickering amongst high school or middle school friends. So now the producer could not deny it anymore. He has since publicly responded.
Yeah, I know her other channel is more like lighthearted and stuff like that. We probably watch those more.
With an apology. A representative said, the producer deeply asks for forgiveness from the bottom of his heart from those who have been hurt by this incident. He wants to express that if given the chance, he would like to apologize in person or via call.
That is the irony, huh?
Yeah, the fact that they screened all the actors and actresses, but not the producer.
Not the producer? What the? Not the producer!
Actors or the writers is kind of beyond me.
It's so crazy because the producer probably like had his hands in some type of, in some type of the producer probably helped come up with the idea of screening the people, of screening the actors. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that the bully said, I want to make sure y'all not bullies, but I'm a bully. Like, what the fuck?
I hope this is bringing a lot of lights to this school bullying situation, no?
Yes, it is. And it's, I think the deeper, okay, so that's how I felt when I was first looking into it, right? And I'm like, okay, this is really good. But then I also saw some very, really deep rabbit hole stuff where recently a couple of K-pop idols have been accused of bullying, and then it came out that they were not bullies, and it completely ruined their lives. So it's getting very strange.
Yeah, but
I would say overall, yes, this is a huge plus. Yeah. But I don't know if it's the government's going to do anything. I'm assuming, I don't know actually, because there have been so many cases where the public is outraged, and we try to sign all these petitions and we do everything we can, and then nothing happens. But it is a global problem. Like, violence in schools seems to be just prevalent everywhere. And yeah, you can say in Korea it's only 10% of students that experience violence at the hands of bullies, but 10% is a lot. And these are just some of the stories of the 10%.
Oh my God.
Let me know your thoughts. Did you know that The Glory was inspired by real cases? And How did the glory make you feel? Let me know, and I will see you guys on Wednesday for the main episode. Bye.
It started when an alien device did what it did. And stuck itself upon his wrist with secrets that it did. So if you see him, you might be in for a
Be surprised. He'll turn into an alien before your baby. I'm only power, he's on the case. Fighting for people from Earth or space. I needed that. I needed that. Listen, I gotta get up out of here, okay?
너 뭐 하자는 거니? 저기 어머님
Oh, shit. Yup.
그게 뭔데?
Fentanyl. Having war flashbacks. Having war flashbacks is crazy.
야, 내가 알바비 줄게.
감사합니다.
Alright, bet. Come on in. Ugh. You said they're just playing around, Sarah. They going fucking crazy. What the fuck? Look at mother looking like her uncle. Oh shit. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I low-key prefer this version over like the actual like real dance practice. Bro, they are not like just joking around, playing around. Like they are like dead ass serious.
We all gonna die, but not today. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know what I'm saying.
Nigga, what the fuck? Bro, what?
Arigato.
Bro, what the hell? You can't just leave off with that right there.
Run, beautiful, run, yeah, you gotta run.
I remember that shit. I feel like when they, you know, when like your toddler get tired and it's time for him to go home. Bro, what the fuck? Bro, is that a Q-tip? Bro, is that a Q? That's a goddamn Q-tip.